talk about the interview outcomes and, again, how to enhance that interview experience. Because, again, we know that the more we can enhance that interview experience, probably the better information we're going to get from that applicant and the better experience they're going to have with the process. So, again, we need to make sure that we're prepared, that we've reviewed the interview, and that we've formed some good questions. We talked about that before. Secondly, we need to make sure that we're on time. You know, the worst thing you can do is leave that applicant waiting for, 15, 20, 30 minutes, and because that's showing them that they're not really important. Again, set the stage. Treat that applicant as a guest. Make sure that they feel like they're somebody special and that you are taking the time and the professional courtesies to set the stage, the proper greeting, ask them if they want a beverage, walk them back, show them where they need to sit, et cetera, et cetera. The next thing would be to build rapport. So we want to make sure, again, that we are helping that applicant to kind of settle down so that we can have a good exchange. One of my favorite questions is, tell me something about yourself. And I'm looking for job-related kinds of things. But if they can tell me, what kind of jobs they've had in the past, why are they interested in this, what are they looking for going forward, that could help. Again, you can talk about something common, the weather, the traffic, if there was some newsworthy thing that happened that you can just kind of settle them down. We usually get better outcomes. Again, ask your questions, make sure you have them, and conversely, answer their questions. When I coach interviewees on the interview process, I always tell them that you probably have questions that you want answered. So it's okay to take a notebook in there with your questions written down, and at some point in the exchange, you're going to be given a time to ask your question. So take out your notebook, go down the list. Most of them probably may have been answered, but there may be some that are outstanding. So be sure to answer the questions from the applicant. Again, close that interview and advising of the next steps. Here's the next steps in the process. We're going to be interviewing through the rest of this week, and then at the end of that time, we're going to get down to the short list, and we'll be letting you know about that. We'll be letting you know either way, whether you're on the short list or not. So the final bullet point on this page is let the applicants know the results of the recruitment efforts. Okay? If they were the one that wasn't selected, we all hate to deliver bad news, but you know what? At that point, they just want to know. And it could very well be that, again, good applicant just wasn't the right job, or you had somebody that had just a bit more experience or a preferred license or, something. But if you can let that applicant know, something about why they weren't selected, that's something that they can work on. It gives them something to work on. Or if it was just somebody had a little bit more, it may be that they would be a better applicant for another position. So even if you're not comfortable with that, make sure you circle back to that applicant that has come in to meet with you to let them know the outcomes. Obviously, if they are your number one candidate, you're going to extend an offer, but if they weren't, turn them off in a professional way and in a timely manner. Legal and illegal questions. If you think about it, very few illegal questions, and the one that comes top to mind to me is about people's medical conditions. And we all know because of ADA, we really can't ask people medical conditions. What about your back, or what about your, your heart, what about your leg muscles? If we have a job that is going to require somebody to lift 50 pounds frequently through the day, we tee it up by saying, this is what the job requires. Is there any reason why you can't meet that requirement? Again, what we can't ask is, could your back support lifting 50 pounds several times a day? That's illegal. Other types of inappropriate questions may be, are you single? Are you married? Do you have kids? What type of religion do you have? What national origin are you? Those are kind of things that, although may not be illegal to ask, what is illegal if we discriminate against somebody because of one of those things. So best practices to stay away from those type of questions. So make sure that your questions are relevant to the position. If you focus on that, you should be okay, and you should be asking legal questions. Just to wrap it up, we've been here for about 50 minutes. So behavioral questions can result in information that will help you make better decisions. It will give you a more complete picture of answers that somebody is asking and a more complete picture of how they would handle a situation. Again, interviewing best practices can help put that applicant at ease, and it will really help to showcase that company, your company, in the best light, and also help that applicant to really think of this position as something they want. And we all know that some of the best ways to find candidates is word of mouth. So if an applicant has a good experience with your company, they're probably going to tell other people, and that's just going to help in your recruitment. Obviously, the better hires we can make, the less money we're spending on bad hires.